So, I guess just to start, year 8, man, what comes to your mind first when you think about that?
Blur. It just went really quickly. Seriously, it's like even though I was into the battle all those years of trying to make things work and learn the game, learn the system, learn how to be a Fortune 500 company CEO of of my team and my staff, it still went so fast. I can't believe it's year 8.
When you take this job in March of 2018, do you possibly think you're still here 8 years later? Did you think you'd still be here?
I can honestly say I thought that we would have won more in March, and I would have gotten the team back to a level that it needs to be at and sustain, like where Josh had it and where Cal had it, where we were going and making runs in the NCAA tournament. Because that didn't happen, I can say I didn't want to leave until the job was done and got it back to that if I was afforded to do that. So in some ways, I'm shocked that I'm still here because I felt like we would have went on runs in the NCAA tournament by now. Not that I was trying to leave and go anywhere. I thought that I would have been more successful and, could have said, all right, I've done a great job here. It's time to do this. But because I haven't seized the moment in March, I guess I can say that's year 8 and I'm still here.
So you're saying, like, in the sense, if you get Memphis to a certain point where you feel like it's back where it needs to be, it's like ride off into the sunset, go back to TPC full time?
I was hoping I could do that. And then I know that seems, I don't know if it seems crazy, but it's like I want to get us back to that prominence that we once had. And it may be back to the TPC and golf.
So you've talked a good bit about how you've had to change and adapt as a coach over time.
Mm-hmm.
But with everything that you've experienced, how has this whole thing changed you personally? Like, do you feel like a different person than you were
I'm
years
definitely
ago?
a different person because I went through COVID, NIL, multitude of different things with NCAA, to all these different things, and then building different teams every year. Yeah, I'm definitely a different guy in so many different ways. Veteran, more calm now, understand what's going on. The city and the school has allowed me to learn through my mistakes, and all those experiences that I've had have been the best teachers for me. And it hadn't been anything that I haven't gone through in college basketball for a coach, more than a lot of coaches. And I'm happy that I've experienced all of it.
Now, to your credit, this is perhaps maybe the most inconvenient or worst time for a college coach to come up, especially in your situation, because we go back to 2018 and the program is not in a good shape at all. With the way that you're inheriting it, so you're spending 2 years trying to build that up, get the attendance back and things like that. Then you got COVID, and then there's NIL coming in, rev share. So you've had to just adapt and change things up over and over and over again. And now you're seeing many legendary names of the sport, like Tony Bennett, Jay Wright, Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams. They're all leaving because they can't seem to hang around, or at least they're not willing to hang around.
Right.
With all this change in the NIL era. What's keeping you in the foxhole and saying, you know what, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep on adapting, and I'm going to try to make this thing work despite all the changes.
Yeah, what's keeping me in the foxhole is that the job isn't done. Me getting better as a coach, it's not time for me to leave. Early on, younger, you're like, man, you're inexperienced, you don't have enough experience, but you're trying. Now I'm experienced. That's what's keeping me in the foxhole, because I'm learning how everything works now. And then I want to win for the city and for the school so badly. And that's not just, October, November, December, or November, December, January, February. It's March, April. And that's what's keeping me in the foxhole.
So, in a way, until the job isn't done the way you want to, you can't leave.
Not if it's my choice. I can't.
So unless there's other circumstances, you're stuck until you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to do that for the city. We need that.
Yeah. And this summer particularly, you seem to have really honed down and almost obsessed over the fact that you haven't advanced past the first weekend yet, almost in a way that, like last year, the big theme for you was, win the American regular season, even more than get back to the NCAA tournament, because it was just something you hadn't done, and now we're in that situation. Like the longer and longer it goes on, and you don't get Memphis back to the Sweet 16, like how much does it continue to harp on you there?
Oh, it's like the monkey on your back. It's like the Buffalo Bills all those years getting to the Super Bowl and never winning. You know what I mean? There are a lot of teams in high school that have gotten to the state championship game 8, 9, 10 times, always got the silver ball. So that monkey will always be on your back. I just remember Steve Young, and I'm not a 49ers fan. He had the Joe Montana monkey on his back, right? He finally won one. He was like, oh, man, this feels great. So, yeah, getting to a Sweet 16 will get the monkey off my back because I've accomplished a lot of stuff already regular season and then postseason NIT championship. But you got to get Tiger basketball is Sweet 16s, Elite 8s, Final Fours, and we got to get back to that.
We've spoken about the different adaptations with NIL and that kind of thing, and how that's affected your program or whatever. Just overall speaking, do you think it's been more of a positive or negative for you there?
In what perspective of being a positive or negative? Because NIL is here. I believe in the athletes being paid. It's not an even playing field. So, that's what makes it very difficult because some schools just have way more money to go out and get way more talent. And it makes it more difficult to accomplish things because you have to have the money to get talent in here now. It's not about going out recruiting someone, saying I can develop your game and get you to the NBA or give you the best chance. Now it's like I need to have the most money. And that's what's the positive about it, is that the players deserve to be paid. The negative is the amounts that they're being paid, which is putting some teams at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, I meant that in the sense that, do you think it has helped you or hurt you more overall?
To have NIL?
Yeah.
Hurt. Because when it was just me recruiting against them without the NIL, I could out-recruit anybody. I mean, I was showing that. I was going to get the top guys, top classes in the country 2 times in 5 years at Memphis, and I was able to give them the spiel of NBA. Now, it's NIL.
And the NIL landscape was certainly, a major factor for you this offseason with the PJ Haggerty fiasco and that kind of thing. And there was a point where there was maybe a certain optimism that you could bring back, PJ and or Dane with the waiver there. Was there ever a point where you weren't maybe expecting it, but was there perhaps a hope there? And if
there was always a hope because we wanted both back. And the university, to give them credit, Ed Scott and those guys, they were ready to pay both Dane and PJ to come back. We were ready to do so. So there was a hope. But then there was a thing in the back of my mind because I started hearing early that, PJ had already been, MVP of the AAC. He had became second team all NCAA from the AAC, and that he spent his time here. Now he needed to go and prove to other people that he could play in a bigger conference, and that's what I was hearing. But Dane always was a possibility of wanting to come back, and there was a possibility of him getting a waiver.
Yeah, and when it became apparent that there was a return with either of them wasn't really possible,
I cried over eating cereal.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm just
No.
Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, no.
Bad joke.
So I wasn't going to ask about your emotions or whatever, but did your roster building strategy in the portal have to change at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We had to be very strategic because we couldn't go out and get a lot of bigs, because we were like, we need to pay Dane. And once Dane's waiver didn't go through, we instantly had to just start looking for bigs. Like, hey, what's left? Because all our top bigs, they went early because they were being paid tons of money.
And you were focusing on Dane.
And we were focusing on getting Dane's waiver because we felt like Dane would have been the best big in the country coming back.
Yeah.
And, when his waiver didn't go through, we were like, man, we got to go to work. And God blessed us with getting 3 really good bigs in the end.
What I was going to ask you earlier about the Sweet 16 conversation is that you've had 3 chances or 3 opportunities there with with Gonzaga, Florida Atlantic, and last year Colorado State. I know they all hurt a lot,
oh, man.
But if you had to narrow it down, like which one of those is like, Man, that was the one. That's the real
Florida Atlantic.
missed opportunity.
Without a doubt. Up 1 with 10 seconds with the ball in the backcourt. Florida Atlantic was the one that crushed me the most. I don't know if I would ever been a discus thrower, but I threw my water bottle, I think, 100 yards. I'm sorry.
No.
I was like, no.
Yeah, when you
But
chunk,
that game, up 1 with 10 seconds with the ball, that hurt.
yeah, it's not surprising because the water bottle chunk is quite it's uncharacteristic. We'll just say that were you like after that? So man, what was I doing there? Did I really just do that? Like,
Yeah, I did. Much later. And
Yeah.
then some of the coaches, they ragged me a little bit in the summertime. They was like, man, you can really throw. I was like, what do you mean? Water bottle after the FAU. I was like, oh, man.
I mean,
But, yeah, so that one hurt. All of them hurt. Even this year, the Colorado State one, when Tyrese got injured in the conference semifinal, I was like, oh, my God, because Dante Harris was already out.
yeah.
I was like, man, this is just – and then Kobe Rogers gets injured in the first 2 minutes of the game. I'm like, what is going on here? That's the monkey on your back? Like, what's going on? Then we get a 9-point lead, and they hit 2 back-to-back threes, got momentum, and then it just went haywire. They started double-teaming Dane. And then the Gonzaga one, we were up 15 and a half or 13 and a half. You got Drew Timme and those guys were so good. Even though they lost the next round, that was a home game in Portland, Oregon. That was almost impossible to kind of keep that lead, even though we tried. But the FAU game, it hurt really badly.
Yeah, because it always seems there's always something in all three. Like,
Always.
there's always something.
Always.
With Gonzaga, it's you had it in control, but then Jalen and DeAndre they just can't get out of foul, stay out of the foul trouble,
Yeah.
and that's what allows Timmy to do what he does. And then the whole timeout thing with Florida Atlantic, and then Tyrese with a freak injury. Like,
Yeah.
it just it wasn't even a regular play.
No,
just
backpedaling.
It's a backpedaling, and Baraka just runs in. It's at the wrong angle, and
Yeah, it's like
And-
you think about that, but I'm a guy of faith. I'm just gonna say those were just the hardships, so that when the glory comes, you can look back and go, we remember those days. Because if you can remember, Virginia getting knocked out by the 16 seed, the 15 seed, all those years, and Tony Bennett had this big monkey on his back, and then the year they won it, they dang near lost and got brought back to life 3 times in that run. Even the championship game, down 3 with 4 seconds to go or 5 seconds to go, and then take it to overtime and win.
yeah, the free throws, that was quite a fortunate call there for sure. But is there anything you can possibly do to protect yourselves from those things? Because
No, that's just sports.
Yeah.
That's just how it happens, right?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that's not the narrative, or there's going to be our story, that every time they get to the NCAA tournament, someone is injured or this or that. We're going to push through, man, this year and do what we have to do. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, but there is obviously a luck component to it as well, and just is there anything that can maybe try to help the ball bounce your way there?
I think you just got the preparation, putting yourself in position, understanding the moment, seizing the moment. For all the coaches that have been very successful in the NCAA tournament, they always put luck in there, because those teams don't get injured. They make the shots, the timely shots. They make the timely plays, and they do what they need to do to win those games.
Yeah. So you're going into this year with a team full of players who have not exactly done what they want to achieve. Kind of similar to y'all, with Doug never making the NCAA tournament, Aaron not doing everything he wants to do from a college perspective
Mm-hmm.
there, and other guys not perhaps winning at the level or producing at the level. Did you target that profile at all?
In a way, I did. I went after guys that were really good coming out of high school, or really good that just hadn't reached their potential or scratched the surface of who they really could be. And I said, if I could get these guys together and everyone having a chip on their shoulders, including me, we're going to get together and we can do something special. And yeah, I did. That was intentional.
Yeah. So you look at the situation with Sincere, and possibility of it perhaps extending into the season with the way that the court's going and all that. How are you guys perhaps preparing to deal with the potential distractions of that.
Yeah, that's just what comes along with what happens in life now. It's happening everywhere. You just have to continue to support the athlete and let the justice system take care of what they take care of, and we just keep playing games.
So, what are people, I guess, missing about this team with being outside of the top 50 in Ken Palm this morning and being lower rated in other things, not even being the consensus team to make it out of the American for the tournament. So, I guess just what are people missing there?
I think the what they're missing is that anybody can turn it around whenever they want. Like, these kids have not achieved what they wanted to have achieved, right? And that's what America's all about, a good story of people who've been counted out, who rally and then become champions. That's the American way, and that's what they're missing about this team. This team has the talent. They can't deny the talent. It's just a matter of them coming together and combining and joining and doing something special, and I see that in this team.